So just got done milking here now, and before I go feed cows, we have a hose to fix because, well, blew a hose the other day and it's making a mess, and it costs money when you got leaking hydraulic oil everywhere. So we're gonna take the bucket off and get that hose fixed. So how these quick couplers here work, you gotta pull these red things out. It's like a stopper. You gotta push it in, which will unlock it, and then you can pull it out. So these hoses actually blew before. I actually just got a cut in town here and then made them put it together again. But now I'm going to replace both of them because this one is the one that's actually leaking, I think. But you can see there's all wires already all showing and pretty worn out. So we'll just fix them both, get them both replaced. So here's what the new hose is. This is a quick coupler, what it looks like. Just goes in there. So now when you push it in, you keep the red spacer in. When you push it in, it'll lock it in there and it stays in there. Always make sure your fittings are clean before you put it on. You don't want no dirt going in there. Done, easy as that. Hook back up to that and we're good to go. Now we're actually gonna go feed some cows now. I actually have to make 2 batches this morning. I gotta make a batch for dry cows. Also, I gotta make the batch for the milk cows. So I'm gonna try to get into some pretty good detail about what we feed our cows, especially our herd, our milking herd. Our dry cows, I just make a batch, a pre-mix of corn silage and barley silage. And I just mix it up, I dump it on the ground, and it's good for about 4 days. So now here, this is our feed yard. This is where we store all our silage for the cows to eat. Also, we store all our straw on the other side of this bag over here. So a little bit of history about our farm. We moved here in 2000 after my dad split up with his brother. So for the past 18 years, we've been using those 2 blue silos behind me. Now we shut those down because they were extremely expensive and we were always short on feed. That was the only feed storage we had on our farm. So now with an ag bag, we have a lot more flexibility. We can place a bag wherever we want around our yard, and we can make as many bags as we choose. So essentially what an ag bagger is a giant long tube that our bags are 10 feet in diameter by 250 feet long. They hold about 350 tons each. So last year we did 7.5 bags, which is equivalent to about 2,600 tons. That's for our cows only on our farm. So right now we have a corn silage pile, we have a third cut pile, and we have a barley silage over there on the other side of that snowbank. So this is where I dump the dry cow feed, and now I will also only do this in the wintertime, because in summertime, if you have feed sit in the sun too long like this, it will spoil, it will heat, it will go bad, and then the cows cannot eat it. So when I need some now, I'll just come here in the bucket, I'll take a scoop, and then I'll go dump it in their feeders. So this lasts about 4 days. Every 4 days I make a new batch. Kind of think about it of a loaf of bread. You have bread on your counter for over a week, it's probably going to mold. But if you have bread in your freezer, you can probably keep it in there for a good month and it'll still be good when you take it out. Okay, so now that we got our dry cow batch fed, we're going to do our milking cow batch. So we did just change this, but before we were doing 25% corn silage, 35% barley silage, and 40% third cut haylage. So a 10,000 pound batch with those percentages would be 2,500 pounds of corn silage, 35 barley, 4,000 pounds of third. But now since the cows were lacking a little bit of fiber in their diet, we've actually just made changes to this like 3 days ago. So we actually added 5% to the corn, so now we're actually doing 2,625 pounds, and then we're still adding 3,500 pounds of barley silage, then which will be 6,125 added to that. And then we took away 7% of the third cut silage, which is now 3720 we add, which for a total of 9845. So maybe you guys are wondering, why don't I add any grain to our TMR mix? Well, because we're not actually doing a TMR mix, we are doing a PMR mix, which is a partially mixed ration. A TMR mix is a total mixed ration. That is when you have all your grain, supplements, feed, everything all mixed into one batch, and then you feed it to your cows. But on our farm here, we're in a tie-stall facility, so we have actually a robotic grain feeder, which I'll show you guys later in the video of how it works. So when grabbing feed for our cattle to put in our mixer, we always want to make sure we're grabbing cold, clean, mold-free, very high quality forage for them to eat. How neat was that, hey? Sometimes you gotta make do when you don't have a drone just yet. Okay, now we got our mixer wagon filled to the correct weight. So some of you guys actually might be wondering, why do we not mix it as we fill it? Well, this month is February, so that means it's Febu-Dairy. If you don't really know something about the dairy farming industry, don't be scared to find a dairy farmer on Facebook, Instagram, somewhere, ask your neighbors. Make sure you get the correct info from a farmer and don't believe everything you see on the internet. So the reason us on our farm, we do not mix it as we fill it, because we don't have any grain in there. We only need it to mix for about 5 minutes at very high speed. And the longer we let it mix, the more it'll get broken up, because there is knives inside this mixer that will chew it to pieces. Like, you guys have to remember, there's always a reason farmers do things a certain way. So now every single morning in the barn, we take away all the old feed from yesterday and give it to the calves. So for us to get our feed to our barn, it goes up this conveyor right here. Now it is a little messy down here because some stuff does fall off if I try to unload it too fast. So now once it comes up that conveyor from outside, it comes up here, it falls onto this conveyor. Now this is a forward reverse conveyor, so it can either go to this side of the barn, which is where the cart is downstairs right now, or it can go up there to that side of the barn. So also on this side of the barn we have two options here. We can drop it down the hole to that side of the barn, or I put a chute right here and it falls on this conveyor. So and then this big conveyor here, it goes to our heifer group, which is in another barn attached to this barn. Okay, so now we got this whole side fed. Now I'll do the exact same thing to the other side of the barn. And then after I'm done that, I'll show you guys our robotic grain feeder, which runs on this track. And I'll tell you what they get for grain, minerals, and supplements. So this is our robotic grain feeder. It came out of Quebec when we first put it in. I think it was 2006, I believe. So we put this in because it was a very big time saver, and we used to just feed cows with a wheelbarrow, and you'd take a scoop and give a cow a little bit of grain and a little bit of mineral, just estimating. And now this thing with this is actually very precise. So we get to type in on the computer what every single cow in this barn gets. It all goes correspondent with their milk production. So the higher the milk production they have, the more barley and grain and mineral they will receive. So this is where it parks to charge. So this computer feeder has 4 compartments. In the first compartment we have rolled and crushed barley. The second compartment we have a protein pellet. I believe it's 18.6% protein. And then in the back here we have an APF fat. Also we have a mineral compartment too. So this is the supplement we feed our cows along with the barley and the APF fat. So it's 18.6% protein supplement pellet. And this is exactly what's all into this tiny little pellet right there. I'm not sure if it's going to focus or not. But the main thing is we got crude protein, you got your vitamins A, D, and E. You got your potassium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, zinc, magnesium, copper, calcium. So as you can see, this cow's getting 0.86 of barley, 1.25 of supplement, and 0.08 of fat. So she gets that 6 times a day every 4 hours. And this one's getting 0.75 of barley, 1.16 of supplement, and 0.06 of fat. So every cow gets something different, and it all just depends on how much they're producing for milk-wise. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up for me. Also hit that subscribe button if you want to learn more about the dairy industry, or if you just want to see what I do on a daily basis on my farm. So I will be posting about 3 to 4 times a month. And also if you have any comments, please comment below. I will be reading them all and liking them, and I will get back to you guys. See you in the next one.
Look for this logo for Honest Canadian Dairy.